It's like strawberries, yeah, on that summer evening. It sounds just like a song. And I want more berries, yeah, and that summer feeling. 'Cause it's wonderful and warm. Breathe me in, breathe me out. And I don't know if I can ever go without. And I'm just thinking about. I don't know if I can ever go without. Watermelon sugar high, 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 watermelon sugar high. Tastes like strawberries, yeah, on that summer evening. You're my only drug. I want more berries and this summer feeling. It's just wonderful and boring. Breathe me in, breathe me out. And I don't know if I can ever go without. Watermelon sugar high, 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 watermelon sugar tastes like strawberries on that summer evening. You're my only drug. And I want more berries, yeah, and that summer feeling. And I don't know if I can ever go without. Watermelon sugar high, 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 watermelon sugar high. Now I'm missing a strawberry kisses. Taste is so sweet, it's gonna drive me crazy. Watermelon sugar high. Got a girl from the south side. I got braids in her hair. First time I seen her walk by, then I about fell up out my chair. Had to get her number. Took me like 6 weeks. Now me and her go way back, like Cadillac seats. Body like a backhoe, driving with my eyes closed. I know every curve like the back of my head. Yeah. 15 and a 30. I ain't in no hurry. I'm gonna take it slow, just as fast as I can. The way she fit in them blue jeans, she don't need no help. But I can turn them inside out. Yeah, I don't need no help. Got hips like honey, so thick and so sweet. There ain't no words like us in them brown pants. Body like a backhoe, driving with my eyes closed. I know every curve like the back of my head. 15 and a 30, I ain't in no hurry. the tall grass. I got my lips on hers. On the highway to heaven, headed south of her smile. Get there when we get there. Every inch is a mile. Body like a backboard, driving with my eyes closed. I know every curve like the back of my hand. 15 and a 30, I ain't in no hurry. I'm gonna take it slow, just as fast as I can. I'm gonna take it slow. Sure to get down, cooler, yeah. Baby got him open all over town. Straight to bitch, she don't play around and cover much ground. They got game by the pound. Getting paid is a forte each and every day. A true play away. I can't get her out of my mind now. I think about the girl all the time. East side to the west side, you push her back right. It's no surprise. She got sticks in the stash, stacking up the cash. Fast when it comes to the gas. By no means average, as long as she's got to have it. Baby, you're a perfect 10. I wanna get in, and I get it down so I can win. I like the way you work it. Oh, diggity, I got to bag it up now. I like the way you work it. Oh, diggity. Hey, oh, hey, oh. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. Hey, oh, hey, oh. Play on, play on, play on. Thank you very much, y'all, with Sneaky Beats. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Congratulations. Big day. Stay safe. Thank you, thank you.
Welcome to this James Cook University graduation ceremony. Please ensure that all electronic devices are switched off. Graduates, you are reminded that protocol requires that you take off your mortarboard bonnet for the national anthem. Would the assembly please stand for the entrance of the academic procession?
Chancellor, distinguished guests, members of the official party and academic procession, graduates and guests, good afternoon and welcome to this College of Science and Engineering, College of Public Health, Medical and Veterinary Sciences, College of Healthcare Sciences and College of Medicine and Dentistry graduation ceremony. Please remain standing while Ms Tammy Moxon sings the national anthem.
Australians, oh let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil, wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. Hear joyful strains and let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you. Please be seated. At James Cook University, we acknowledge the Australian Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples as the traditional owners of the lands and waters where we operate our business. We pay our respects to ancestors and elders, past, present and emerging. JCU is committed to honouring Australian Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples' unique cultural and spiritual relationship to the land, waters and seas, and their rich contribution to the university and society. We are assembled here today to confer James Cook University Awards. May I take this opportunity to introduce members of the official party. My name is Mr. Russ Parker and I'm today's Ceremony Marshal. From my right, Professor Ted Whittam, Dean of the College of Public Health, Medical and Veterinary Sciences. Associate Professor Kerry McBain, Head of Psychology. For today's ceremony, Acting Dean of the College of Healthcare Sciences. Professor Sarah Larkins, Dean of the College of Medicine and Dentistry. Professor Ron White, Dean of the College of Science and Engineering. Professor Moen Jacob, Associate Dean, Research Education. Ms. Giselle Bovink, Deputy University Secretary and today's Mace Bearer. The University's Chancellor, Mr. Bill Tudell. Vice-Chancellor and President, Professor Simon Biggs. Professor Betsy Jakes. Professor Jakes is to be awarded an honorary doctorate today. Ms. Andrea Della Matea. Ms. Della Matea is also to be awarded an honorary doctorate today. Professor Marcus Lane, Deputy Vice-Chancellor of the Division of Tropical Environments and Societies. Professor Richard Murray, Deputy Vice-Chancellor of the Division of Tropical Health and Medicine. Professor Marie Dinan Thompson, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Students. Ms. Tricia Brand, Deputy Vice-Chancellor of the Division of Services and Resources, and Professor Stephen Naylor, Chair of the University's Academic Board. Seated behind the official party are members of the university staff. Chancellor, I invite you to address the Assembly.
Good afternoon. I warmly acknowledge today Professor Simon Biggs, our Vice-Chancellor and President, Mr. Les Walker, MP, Member for Mundingborough, Professor Betsy Jakes, our Distinguished Occasional Speaker, Ms. Chelsea Burgess, our Graduate Speaker, members of the official party, members of JCU's governing body, the Council, ladies and gentlemen, and most important of all, our graduating students. Warm thanks also to Tammy Moxon for her stirring rendition of our national anthem, and to Tammy and Sneaky Beats Music for their excellent pre-ceremony entertainment. I too acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which we gather and pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging, and I acknowledge with respect all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Australians present with us this afternoon. JCU is very proud to celebrate the diversity of cultures and customs that make up our university community. A very special part of that is to acknowledge the academic achievement of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students through a sashing ceremony that takes place immediately before our graduation ceremonies. Later, you'll see those students walk across the stage to receive their awards, wearing proudly the colourful sashes which signify their cultural heritage. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the very best aspects of being Chancellor of my alma mater is presiding over graduation ceremonies, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to today's. We gather this afternoon to celebrate the achievement of our students and also to thank those who have supported them along the way and to rejoice with the dedicated staff of JCU for their tireless efforts to turn out graduates of such remarkable quality. I commend our graduating students for your persistence and your determination to make it through what has been a challenging final 2 years of study. We're living in a new and challenging world, dealing with the obstacles which COVID-19 has created. But the struggle we've faced has brought out the best in people, forging resilience, adaptability, and innovation. In this, the staff and the students of James Cook University have been exemplary. I'd like to acknowledge with gratitude the family and the friends who have helped bring you to this milestone in your lives and who have supported you through the tough times. They've been the sounding board, the shoulder to cry on, and the motivator, and deserve to be proud of their contribution to your success. A particularly pleasant aspect of my role this afternoon is to officially welcome JCU's new graduates into our alumni family, a family that my wife Chris, who's with us today, and I have been part of since we graduated in the 1970s. Our graduating students have every right to be very proud in the knowledge that you are joining the ranks of a great number of high-achieving alumni who've made contributions, significant contributions, locally, nationally, and internationally. We count among them people as accomplished as Professor Jamaluddin Jompa, one of Indonesia's top scientists, specialising in marine and environmental science, who was recognised in 2018 as one of JCU's outstanding alumni and was that year's recipient of the Chancellor's Award. Ms. Andrea Della Matea, Microsoft's President for Asia Pacific, member of the JCU Singapore Advisory Board, and one of today's honorary doctorate recipients, as you've heard, and recognised in 2010 as one of our outstanding alumni. The 2022 Queensland Young Australian of the Year, Dr. Tani Bridson, founder of Hand in Hand Peer Support to help healthcare workers who are experiencing wellbeing and mental health difficulties, and Tani was recognised in 2021 as one of our outstanding alumni. And finally, in this list, the 2022 Young Australian of the Year and Young Australian of the Year for New South Wales, Dr. Daniel Noor, founder of Streetside Medics, a mobile health clinic for Sydney's homeless community. Now I could go on and on with impressive examples of those who've gone before you. I know you'll be relieved to know I won't do that. I'll let just those few examples illustrate my point. Before I bring my remarks to a close, I'd like to extend a particularly warm welcome to Professor Simon Biggs and say what a delight and honour it is to have Simon Biggs join JCU as Vice-Chancellor and President. Professor Biggs is officially now a bit over a month into the role and enjoying his first JCU graduation week here in Townsville. I know that Professor Biggs is very proud to be part of JCU, and I look forward to his leadership in building the university's success in the years to come. Now, graduates, the time's come to pause, to take in and enjoy everything you've achieved. Those of us responsible for leading this university are very proud of you for staying the course and reaching this milestone. I look forward to seeing you walk across the stage later to receive your awards. That will be the time for your family, your friends and your supporters to applaud you with all the gusto that they can muster. And when the celebrations subside and you begin your careers, before long, life will be filled with all sorts of responsibilities and challenges. Almost certainly that process has begun. But I do encourage you to stay in touch with JCU through our alumni network. My wife Chris and I are certainly glad that over the years we've done that. You are, after all, JCU's next generation of leaders and game changers, and we want to be able to follow your achievements and to take pride in them, to take pride in you. And as you begin to make your mark in the world, remember, you've only just begun your learning journey. The author Alvin Toffler reflected on this notion in his book Future Shock, in which he wrote, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn." I've no doubt that in the near future, you will bring the power of your JCU education to bear on issues of great significance to your communities. Congratulations and good luck.
Chancellor, I call upon the Chair of the Academic Board, Professor Stephen Naylor, to present the graduating students.
Will all graduating students please stand? Chancellor, I certify to you and to the University that all the graduands and graduates standing before you today have fulfilled the requirements prescribed by the University, and I ask that they be recognised as admitted to their respective awards.
In the name of the University Council and by my authority as Chancellor, I recognise and admit candidates so approved and congratulate and warmly welcome you as JCU alumni.
Will all graduates please be seated?
Chancellor, the awarding of Doctor of Philosophy degrees has a special place in our graduation ceremony. It is one of the highest qualifications which the University awards. These degrees are awarded for the successful completion of a significant piece of independent research, sustained in its scholarly character and one which makes an original contribution to the field. External examination is always required. 25 candidates will be presented this afternoon. Professor Mohan Jacob, Associate Dean of Research Education, will present the graduates and acknowledge their supervisors, and Professor Stephen Naylor, Chair of the Academic Board, will read the thesis abstracts.
Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Ali Yasin Nasir Al-Sadi. Dr. Al-Sadi's studies were undertaken in the discipline of engineering under the supervision of Professor Inhe He and Associate Professor Bobby Martin.
Chancellor, Dr. Sadi developed a new type of catalysts called biofunctional catalysts. Biodiesel can be produced from any type of oil through a chemical reaction with the presence of these types of catalysts. He found that the biofunctional catalysts are efficient with acidic oils, vegetable oils, and also with waste cooking oils. Chancellor, I present Dr. Al-Sadi.
Sarah Elizabeth Berry. Dr. Berry's studies were undertaken in the discipline of marine science under the supervision of Professor Dean Jerry and Dr. Nicholas Weig.
Chancellor, Dr. Berry investigated the physiological and transcriptomatic responses to stress in black tiger shrimp, Penis mondanum. Her research validated a simple method for condition assessments of shrimp and investigated molecular mechanisms of stress responses which relieve genes involved in tolerance to ammonia stress. Her research has applications in genetic improvement of shrimp for farming. Chancellor, I present Dr. Berry.
Caroline Luth Canterbet. Dr. Canterbert's studies were undertaken in the discipline of aquaculture under the supervision of Dr. Igor Pirossi, Professor Andreas Lopata, and Professor Dean Jerry.
Chancellor, Dr. Canterbet studied the yellowtail kingfish. She quantified the sulfur amino acid and taurine requirements with emphasis on metabolic interactions and effects on the species' health. Her findings are being used by the aquaculture industry to optimise feed formulations and challenge current academic understanding of the requirements of metabolism of carnivorous fish that are of commercial interest. Chancellor, I present Dr. Canterbet.
Christopher Hemmingson. Dr. Hemmingson's studies were undertaken in the discipline of marine science under the supervision of Professor David Wellboot, Dr. Peter Coleman, and Dr. Orfa Wellboot.
Chancellor, Dr. Hemingson studied the process that shape the various colours and patterns found in coral reef fishes. He demonstrated that numerous factors influence fish coloration, with evolution, history, morphology, ecology, and reef health all playing a part. Importantly, this thesis identified new ways of thinking about and analysing coloration. Dr. Hemming's thesis was passed cum laude, which means with distinction. Chancellor, I present Dr. Hemmingston.
Cesar Augusto Herrera. Dr. Herrera's studies were undertaken in the discipline of ecology and evolution under the supervision of Professor Marcus Shives, Dr. Katia dos Santos Abrantes, Dr. Janine Shives, and Dr. Ronald Baker.
Chancellor, Dr. Herrera studied the functions of intertidal crabs in estuarine mudflats in Townsville, found that a novel workflow and software that use computer vision to monitor crab movement and behaviour. His analytical framework is more effective than traditional sampling techniques, and it will help ecologists to gather more and better ecological information on crabs. Chancellor, I present Dr. Herrera.
Victor Hertas. Dr. Hertas' studies were undertaken in the discipline of ecology and evolution under the supervision of Professor David Wellboot, Professor Sean Connolly, and Dr. Orfa Wellboot.
Chancellor, Dr. Hertas explored the trophic ecology of cnidarian feeding labrids to understand how these fishes overcome the difficulties associated with a diet of corals or jellyfish. He discovered or described the evolution of the two highly modified oral jaw structures that confers an extraordinary ability to secrete mucus, which enables fishes to exploit this unusual diet. This work offers a new view of the importance of corals and coral-feeding fishes. Chancellor, I present Dr. Hertas.
Susan Karen Ireland. Dr. Ireland's studies were undertaken in the discipline of pediatrics under the supervision of Associate Professor Robin Ray, Professor Sarah Larkins, and Dr. Lynn Woodward.
Chancellor, Dr. Ireland studied the provision of care for periviable babies in North Queensland. Despite the pessimism from the healthcare professionals about offering this care, parents were mostly appreciative and coped with the subsequent disabilities, contextualising them in the baby's struggle for survival. Parents who regretted the care provided reported perinatal concerns which, if heeded, would have resulted in redirection of care. Findings from these studies have led to changes in practice. Chancellor, I present Dr. Ireland.
Shannon Ricky Kelson. Dr. Kelson's studies were undertaken in the discipline of ecology and evolution under the supervision of Professor Kyle Sanger and Professor Andrew Krockenberger.
Chancellor, Dr. Kelson developed and utilised novel genomic tools to investigate patterns of population structure in koalas across their natural and introduced range. She has provided the fundamental baseline knowledge needed for the development of a comprehensive, data-driven national management strategy for koalas across Australia. The research outlined her thesis aims to encourage and facilitate evidence-based management of not only the koala, but also provide a framework for the development of these tools in other vulnerable species. Chancellor, I present Dr. Kelson.
Felicity Van Eyck Kuek. Dr. Kuek's studies were undertaken in the discipline of natural and physical sciences under the supervision of Professor David Miller, Associate Professor David Bourne, and Dr. Sherry Morty.
Chancellor, Dr. Kuek studied DMSP metabolism within the coral holobite, focusing on the role of coral-associated bacteria in the production of DMSP and the possible functions of catabolic product acrylate. She found that coral-associated bacteria are important contributions to the total pool of organic sulfur compounds within the holobite and revealed a novel link between acrylate and the mechanism of calcification of the coral skeleton. Chancellor, I present Dr. Kirk.
Truong Xuan Le. Dr. Le's studies were undertaken in the discipline of geology under the supervision of Professor Paul Dirks, Dr. Ion Stanislev, and Dr. Jan Huenza.
Chancellor, Dr. Le studied the Tick Hill Gold deposit near Mount Isa. He found that the gold was deposited in two stages around 1780 and 1520 million years ago. The mineralisation style is unique to the Mount Isa block, but resembles gold mineralisation in the Tennant Creek area. Dr. Lee has provided a new exploration model for high-grade gold in northwest Queensland, which will be of benefit to the mineral exploration industry. Chancellor, I present Dr. Lee.
Lily Lena Leahy. Dr. Leahy's studies were undertaken in the discipline of ecology and evolution under the supervision of Professor Stephen Williams, Professor Lynn Schwarzkopf, and Dr. Ben Hirsch.
Chancellor, Dr. Lee investigated climatic exposure and climate change vulnerability of ants along the boreal and elevated gradients in the Australian wet tropics. She found that vertical structure of rainforest trees provides distinct microclimates that shape climate change resilience. This has implications for predicting climate change impacts in vertically stratified environments. Dr. Lee's thesis was passed cum laude. Chancellor, I present Dr. Lee.
Jake Robert Law. Dr. Law's studies were undertaken in the discipline of natural and physical science under the supervision of Professor Gary Ross and Emeritus Professor John Short.
Chancellor, Dr. Lowe assessed the relative effects of environmental variation and fishery exploitation on the demography and ecology of tropical wrasses. He found that wrasses were more strongly influenced by their surrounding environment than by the fish pressure. Dr. Lowe's results are important in our understanding of ecology, evolution, and fisheries management. Chancellor, I present Dr. Lowe.
Adrien Francois Marc. Dr. Marc's studies were undertaken in the discipline of aquaculture under the supervision of Dr. Donna Rudd and Professor Dean Jerry.
Chancellor, Dr. Mark studied the fertility of the iconic Australian barramundi. He optimised advanced reproductive techniques to assess sperm quality, developed reliable sperm storage procedures, and explored the influence of sperm quality on larval development. The Australian aquaculture industry is using his results to improve breeding processes. Chancellor, I present Dr. Mark.
Shannon James McMahon. Dr. McMahon's studies were undertaken in the discipline of marine science under the supervision of Dr. Jennifer Donaldson and Professor Philip Munday.
Chancellor, Dr. McMahon's experimentally tested the effects of elevated temperature and CO2 on the growth, development, survival and physiology of two mesopredatory reef fishes. He found that both temperature and CO2 can have varying effects, some beneficial while others negative, and highlights the complexity of understanding how these species will fare in a changing ocean. Chancellor, I present Dr. McMahon.
Jose Luis Montalvo Provano. Dr. Montalvo Provano's studies were undertaken in the discipline of marine science under the supervision of Dr. Lina Bay, Professor Philip Munday, and Dr. Madeleine Van Open.
Chancellor, Dr. Montalvo Provano experimentally tested the response on different life stages of coral to elevated temperatures and PCTO. He found strong evidence for beneficial acclimatation and hardening of photosynthetic efficiency, but not in coral growth. This work provides insights to enhance future reef model projections and restoration strategies. Chancellor, I present Dr. Montalvo Provano.
Rebecca Joan Moss. Dr. Moss' studies were undertaken in the discipline of ecology and evolution under the supervision of Dr. Megan Higgy and Dr. Conrad Hoskin.
Chancellor, species interactions can cause reproductive interference and have negative effects on species survival. Dr. Moss investigated the role of plasticity in avoiding reproductive interference through manipulating social environments. Both the label and developmental plasticity is used in response to the reproductive interference, but only to the reproductive interference from male and not female heterospecifics. Chancellor, I present Dr. Moss.
Larissa Patricio Valerio. Dr. Patricio Valerio's studies were undertaken in the discipline of oceanography under the supervision of Associate Professor Scott Smithers, Dr. Michelle Devlin, and Dr. Thomas Schroeder.
Chancellor, Dr. Patricio Valero developed an algorithm to enable the water quality assessment within the Great Barrier Reef using weather satellite observations collected every 10 minutes. This unprecedented temporal resolution records the dynamic nature of water quality fluctuations for the entire Great Barrier Reef, with applications for improved monitoring and management. Chancellor, I present Dr. Patricio Valero.
Maria Jose Rivera Araya. Dr. Rivera Araya's studies were undertaken in the discipline of geochemistry under the supervision of Professor Michael Bird, Professor Sean and Dr. Cassandra Rowe.
Chancellor, Dr. Rivera Araya studied the environmental changes in climate, vegetation and fire in Cape York Peninsula using lagoon sediments during the last 33,000 years. She found 5 main periods of change in the area surrounding the lagoon. These periods were related to changes in the sea level and monsoonal activity. This thesis will enable a more detailed understanding of past regional monsoon dynamics and human-environment interactions. Chancellor, I present Dr. Rivera Araya.
Katie Sambrook. Dr. Sambrook's studies were undertaken in the discipline of marine science under the supervision of Professor Andrew Hoy, Professor Graham Cumming, Dr. Stephanie Deuce, and Dr. Mary Bonin.
Chancellor, Dr. Sambrook investigated how seascape structure affects the composition and functions of tropical fish communities. She found that many fish use multiple habitats and that the spatial arrangement of habitats shape ecological patterns and processes. Her findings highlight the need to incorporate seascape ecology into future management and conservation strategies. Chancellor, I present Dr. Sambrook.
Mariana Sandana. Dr. Sandana's studies were undertaken in the discipline of marine science under the supervision of Dr. Lynn van Herwerden, Dr. Frederikke Ekroon, Dr. Sherry Ann Motti, and Associate Professor George Wambunis.
Chancellor, Dr. Santana investigated the extent and effects of microplastic contamination on the coral reef ecosystems of the Great Barrier Reef. She found that microplastics are present in remote areas of the Great Barrier Reef, that risks of biological uptake rest on microplastic characteristics, and that biological contamination and effects are dose dependent. Chancellor, I present Dr. Santana.
Catherine Seaves. Dr. Seaves' studies were undertaken in the discipline of ecology and evolution under the supervision of Professor Gary Russ and Professor Jeffrey Jones.
Chancellor, Dr. Seaves studied how mangroves, macroalgal beds, and seagrass meadows affect coral reef fishes in the Philippines. Her thesis revealed that many more fish are using non-reef habitats than previously identified. These results are especially important for fish management because protection of non-reef habitats is often overlooked. Chancellor, I present Dr. Seaves.
Tejas Pratap Singh. Dr. Singh's studies were undertaken in the discipline of medical studies under the supervision of Professor Jonathan Golage and Dr. Joseph Moxon.
Chancellor, Dr. Singh investigated the utility of biomechanics in estimating the prognosis of patients with abdominal aortic aneurysms. He found that aortic peak wall stress and peak wall rupture index can independently predict the future risk of clinically important abdominal aortic aneurysm events, independent of other established risk factors. Chancellor, I present Dr. Singh.
Rachel Kelly Spinks. Dr. Spinks' studies were undertaken in the discipline of ecology and evolution under the supervision of Professor Philip Monday and Dr. Jennifer Donaldson.
Chancellor, Dr. Spinks explored the capacity for coral reef fishes to persist in a warming ocean. She discovered that when and how long a fish was exposed to elevated temperature, in addition to sex, influence its performance, and that the next generation, this will improve predictions of global warming impacts. Chancellor, I present Dr. Spinks.
Craig Edward Walker. Dr. Walker's studies were undertaken in the discipline of chemical engineering under the supervision of Associate Professor Maddox Sheehan, Dr. Andrew Cole, and Dr. Phil Schneider.
Chancellor, Dr. Walker studied the drying rates of two commercially important macroalgae, which with the aim of developing models usable by industry for equipment design. Significant advancements were made by relating drying to the equipment design values not previously studied in the literature, and through consideration of phenomena counter to model assumptions. Chancellor, I present Dr. Walker.
Brooke Whitelaw. Dr. Whitelaw's studies were undertaken in the discipline of biological science under the supervision of Professor Jan Strecknell, Dr. Ira Cook, and Professor Kyle Sanger.
Chancellor, Dr. Whitelaw examined the evolution of the blue-ringed octopus genus, Haploclina, species complex. The current state of Haploclina systematics was revealed to be insufficient for the species diversity observed. Furthermore, evolution of the Haploclina genome revealed distinct differences in non-tetrodotoxin-bearing octopod genomes. This work provides a genetic basis for a systematic re-evaluation of the genus in conjunction with the annotated genome and linkage map for H. macrolosa. Chancellor, I present Dr. Whitelaw.
Chancellor, this concludes the presentation of Doctor of Philosophy graduates.
Chancellor, in recognition of academic excellence, the University bestows an award on graduates whose doctoral research thesis has been passed cum laude. I am pleased to announce that 2 medals for excellence for a doctoral research thesis are to be presented this afternoon. I call upon the Chairperson of the Academic Board, Professor Stephen Naylor, to present the recipients to you.
Chancellor, I present 2 graduates so honoured. Dr. Christopher Hemmingson. And Dr. Lena Lay. Chancellor, this concludes the presentation of medals for excellence for doctoral research theses.
Chancellor, I invite Professor Ted Whittam, Dean of the College of Public Health, Medical and Veterinary Sciences, to present college graduates.
Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Biomedical Sciences. Paige Emily Bauer. Gwen Ipata. Hannah Kambani. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Veterinary Sciences. Kate Christine Boyd. Taylor Page Hosking. Caitlin Marie Middlestadt. Agata Romeo. Brianna Rose Smith. Alex John Stevens. Jemima Holly Turnbull. Chancellor, I present graduates awarded to the degree of Graduate Certificate of Aeromedical Retrieval. Lauren Daniel Crocker. Chancellor, I present a graduate awarded the degree of Graduate Certificate of Aeromedical Retrieval and the Master of Public Health and Tropical Medicine. James Elliott Freitas Xavier. Chancellor, I present a graduate awarded the degree of Graduate Diploma of Public Health and Tropical Medicine, Samantha Jane Reardon. Chancellor, I present a graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Public Health with distinction, Jennifer Marion Luke. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Public Health and Tropical Medicine, Therese Sinaletta Felisa. And Deborah Suzanne Walker. Chancellor, I present a graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Public Health and Tropical Medicine with distinction, Kristen Margaret Mangelsdorf. Chancellor, this concludes the presentation of graduates from the College of Public Health, Medical and Veterinary Sciences.
Chancellor, I invite Associate Professor Kerry McBain, Academic Head of Psychology, to present the College of Healthcare and Science graduates.
Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Nursing Science, Kelsey Teresa Jeffrey. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Business, Bachelor of Psychological Science, Anoop Kaur Baring. Kate Elizabeth Bailey. Sarah Michelle Hall. Linda Joyce Mitchell. Olivia Claire Reardon. Chancellor, I present a graduate awarded the degree of Graduate Certificate of Diabetes Education, Leonie Joy Sutton. Chancellor, I present graduates awarded the degree of Graduate Diploma of Psychology, Bridging, Kerry Ann Mitchell. Susan Gay Osler. Manoji Dilthusa Ranawaka. Hannah Marie Sheldon. Chancellor, I present a graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Psychology, Tiana Elizabeth Felton. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Nursing, Marjan Amertaba. Tracy Lee Doon. Natasha Jane Harrod. Ganga Mahajan. Jane Jing Zhang. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Nursing with distinction. Sarah Allen Geddes. Chancellor, this concludes the presentation of graduates from the College of Healthcare Sciences.
Chancellor, I invite Professor Ron White, Dean of the College of Science and Engineering, to present college graduates.
Chancellor, I present a graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Advanced Science and the first year Physics Prize, Fletcher Doolan. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Advanced Science with distinction, the Port of Townsville Limited Prize in Marine Studies and Statistics, Caitlin Phillips. The Molecular Science Society Prize for Academic Excellence in Third Year Biochemistry, Holly Radford. Chancellor, I present a graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Business and Environmental Science, Bet Chung Kwang. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering Honours, Connor Barrett. Ashley Robert Brooke. Daniel Michael Crowley. Christopher Mark Davis. Shanice Dempsey. Jared Dingwall. Robert Christopher Edwards. Brody Giardina. Filomeno Javier. Cody Johns. Maverick Daly Parker. James Alexander Piggott. Ashley Michael Thomas Rains. Alex James Reynolds. Brody Frank Rupp. Andrew Clement Sloman. Thomas Jack Stokes. Liam Vitali. Joshua Lung Wai Wong. Joshua Alexander Francis. Nicholas Jardine Hook. Vincenzo McDonald. Adam Sean Nucci. Eric Thomas Scheffler. Dylan James Abood. Connor William Anderson. Liam Hayden Dent. Brody Adam DeBella. Jacob Stephen Hillier. Stephen Daniel Jennings. Callum Gordon Maitland. Nicholas Masnada. Jake John Rice. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering Honours, Class 1, the Mechanical Engineering Prize, Farhan Ahmed. Matthew John Beauchamp. Bailey Jake Brown. The Engineers Australia Award C.N. Barton Medal, Chelsea Rihanna Burgess. Andrew Thomas Palanza. The Zonta JCU Award for Best Woman in Engineering Thesis, Brianna Whitehead. The Hunter Medal in Computer Systems Engineering, the Electrical and Computer Engineering Staff Prize, the G.H. Allen Endowment Prize in Computer Systems Engineering, and the IEEE Northern Australia Section 4th Year Prize, Brodie Nicholas Windle. The College of Science and Engineering First Year Prize, Cairns, Kelvin Werziger. The Australian Steel Institute Undergraduate Steel Design Award, the Kevin Stark Memorial Prize in Environmental Engineering, the Steel Reinforcement Institute of Australia Prize, the Port of Townsville Limited Prize in Engineering, the Professor Lal Char Woodwa Prize for Civil Engineering, Brian Eaton Rail Engineering Prize, Adam Zervis. Chancellor, I present a graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering Honours, Bachelor of Information Technology, Hayden John Hartley. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering Honours, Bachelor of Science Class 1, Michael Alexander John Haynes. The Australian Steel Institute Undergraduate Steel Design Award and the iStruck E Australia Division Annual Student Prize, Aidan Matthews. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Environmental Practice, May Akiba. Marcella Didillo. Sarah Barrett Weeks. Hamish Michael Whitney. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Geology, Aidan Sean Halliday. Jack Mitchell Lars. Stuart Donald Connor McGleland. Ben Thomas Robertson. Tamara Sarriman. The Port of Townsville Limited Prize in Marine Sedimentology, William Jackson Thomas. Chancellor, I present a graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Geology with distinction, Samantha Russo. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Information Technology, Cameron Patrick Bowler. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Information Technology, Ramateja Araja. Dan Felton Bush. Timothy Scott Cameron. Lai Sum Justina Chan. Philip Thomas Clough. Ashwin Unmesh Daniel. Jan de Marakat. Kyle Jack Dinnison. Samuel Johnson. Brody Michael Jorgensen. Zaid Cabria. Joshua Kyle Newstub. Christopher James Laspina. Keon Patrick Larson. Joseph Evan Lewis. Chelsea Ann Lynch. Curtis James Lynch. Dallas Carl Marshall. Tim Edward Noel. Upinen Obiri Yaboa. Oka Oa. Alyssa Marie Olan. The Don Close Prize in Software Engineering, David Renderis. Jack Stewart. Sarath Vincent Matthew. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Information Technology with distinction, Callum Francis Gedling. Greg McGlinden. Chancellor, I present a graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Marine Science, Ryan Vincent Jamison. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Marine Science with distinction, the Port of Townsville Limited Prize in Marine Biology, Clancy Mackenzie Box. The Ailing Prize in Marine Science, Caitlin Elizabeth Kelly. Chancellor, I present a graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Planning, William Edward Loveday. Chancellor, I present a graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Laws, Jessica Pollard. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Mallory Bissett. Hayley Nicole Chapman. Alessia Costa. Ebba Dahlstrom. Lachlan Paul Dran. Kimberly Emme. Andreas Hansen. Kahela Kart. The Emeritus Professor Richard Pearson Prize in Third Year Ecology, Angus Houston. Julia Hunt. June Kim. Yao Ming Michael Lay. Chelsea Renee Luther. Danielle Maskell. Amber McConnell. Gabrielle Benilla. Ingrid Grace Miller. Christopher James Mitchell. Grace Emily Nairn. Emma Ashley Osmond. Ronya Schutsteyer. Arum Song. The third year Ron Kenny Prize in Zoology, Taya Strand. Matilda Grace Tolcher. Anna Torenbeek. Brittany Claire Wassing. Catherine Forbes Williams. Ayla Woolley. Daniela Yakub. Johann Zipf. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science with Distinction, Matthew Sean Chappell. James Leonard Gahan. Irene Gelselves. The Joe and Val Baker Prizes, Prize B, the Ron Kenny Prizes in Zoology, Prize A, the College of Science and Engineering Prize, and the Christopher Alexander Memorial Prizes for Marine Biology, Prize A, Lucas Lutzenkirchen. Jasmine Ann Morton. The first year Physics Prize and the Glencore Prize in Science, Sarah Jane Weiss. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science Honours, Siobhan Caitlin Bennett. Michaela Jane Wright. Chancellor, I present a graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science Honours with distinction, Taya Hines. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science Honours Class 1, Nicholas John Bale. Casey Lee Bowden. William Peter Collins. The Division of Tropical Environments and Societies Distinguished Student Prize, Hannah May Green. The Dr. Palmerston Rundle Prize for Biological Sciences, Naomi Lavin. Chancellor, I present graduates awarded the degree of Graduate Diploma of Ridge to Reef Sustainable Development, Fanonga Mangisi Mapaleo. Sarasini Vakawalata Tuba. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Masters of Data Science, Rohan Kevin Charles. Fanaha Chun, Porchun. Nasia Moniga. Snithan Ranjit. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Masters of Data Science with distinction, Michael David Clemenson. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Masters of Data Science, Abhijinet Siva Kuti. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Masters of Data Science with distinction, Ross Angus McKendrick. Lisa McNamee. Laura Marie Vodden. Kelly Rachel Wickham. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Masters of Data Science Professional, Rasul Krishnan Anitha. Charudata Ahiri. Faisal Ahmed. Princey Andrews. Praveen Kumar Asadi. Sai Gandrati. Gurjit Singh. Nino Jose. Anyay Ganagaraj. Douglas Mutamatia. Rosse Pende. Chindabara Nathan Pariyanta Ambi. Sudan Rot. Kida Radeka. Sandeep Kaur. Marin Shaji. Jagtar Singh. Vivekanandan Sivanasan. Aditya Verma. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Masters of Engineering Professional with Distinction, Saga More. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Masters of Information Technology, Shanti Basadia. Abhishek Kalyan Kumar. Fani Mudadniri. Hariharan Narayana Murthy. Sai Pandraji. Naga Pichikala. Andrew Avinash Tony. Dakita Tulada. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Masters of Information Technology with Distinction, Andrew Scott Brown. Wei Chi Lin. Chancellor, I present a graduate admitted to the degree of Masters of Information Technology, Master of Business Administration, Sukhpreet Kaur. Chancellor, I present a graduate admitted to the degree of Masters of Information Technology, Master of Business Administration with Distinction, Kalara Angela. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Masters of Science, Benjamin James Mance. Mila Storch. Chancellor, I present a graduate admitted to the degree of Masters of Science with Distinction, Jennifer Calcroft. Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Masters of Science Professional, Sam Adikaran. Sam Andrew Applebaum. Puya Bamnalka. Stefano Borhi. Megan Bouch, Dashanti Palhagi, Melissa Elliman, Claire Frances Foley, Aya Gavas, Dipchana Mahajan, Yanez Cauldron, Abaha Sant, Taruni Tilakaratne, Veronique Walsh, Brody James Warming, Chancellor, I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Science Professional with Distinction, Raghul Anand. Colette Aper. The Wet Tropics Management Authority Prize, Lisa Bartlett. Rochelle Elizabeth Brown. Francesca Coleman. Tiffany Dunn. Riley Kaka. Mohammed Maki. Rachel Julie Mata. John Norton McCormick. Laura Misson. Puventran Muruga. Hoi Ung. Franziska Radischauser. Aliyah Siddiqui. Vilde Snekkevic. Taruna Venkata Chalam. Chancellor, I present a graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Philosophy, Melissa Joyce. Chancellor, I present a graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Philosophy Engineering, Asif Bollock. Chancellor, this concludes the presentation of graduates from the College of Science and Engineering.
Chancellor, today 2 honorary doctorates are to be awarded. I call upon Professor Simon Biggs, Vice-Chancellor and President, to present Ms. Andrea Della Matea for admission to the degree of Honorary Doctor of Engineering.
Chancellor, James Cook University wishes to recognise Ms. Andrea Della Matea for her outstanding achievement in the field of engineering and the exceptional service she has rendered to the university. Andrea Della Matea is passionate about empowering people. With more than 25 years of experience in the business technology sector, she has led companies across Australia, North America, and the Asia Pacific, and is a member of numerous boards and an advocate for inclusivity. That includes encouraging girls in science, technology, engineering and maths, STEM, women in leadership roles, and enhancing the employability of people with disabilities. Ms. Della Matea is a distinguished alumna of JCU. She completed a Bachelor of Engineering, Computer Systems with Class 1 honours in 1993 and was the inaugural recipient of the JCU Outstanding Alumni Award for the College of Science and Engineering in 2010. Ms. Della Matea is also a graduate member of the Australian Institute of Company Directors. She joined Microsoft in 2017 as the President for Asia Pacific, where she leads the strategic direction and operations of the organization across 16 countries. She and her team enable businesses of all sizes to embrace technology as a platform for continuous innovation and inclusive economic growth. Prior to Microsoft, she served in senior leadership roles at Insight Enterprises Incorporated and Software Spectrum Incorporated in North America and Asia Pacific. She currently serves as a non-executive director on the board of Meals on Wheels in New South Wales, as an independent non-executive director to the board of the Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation Limited, and she is on the advisory board for the James Cook University, Singapore. Ms. Della Matea has played a crucial role in advocating and advancing the calls for digital skills, higher education, and the development of the JCU Singapore campus. She shared expertise, industry knowledge, and connections to help the university plan the rollout of education technology. She was of particular benefit during the pandemic, when remote everything also mandated online pedagogy due to lockdown restrictions. Ms. Della Matea and her colleagues have inspired the university to develop more focused content and new curricula that intersect business, finance, and technology to amplify human ingenuity and improve employability potential for graduates in Singapore. Ms. Della Matea is dedicated to fostering a culture of inclusivity and learning. She is giving of her time and eager to share her knowledge, participating in university events such as graduations and webinars. She speaks on a variety of topics, including policy and public sector transformation, gender diversity, accessibility, and leadership. She combines her personal and professional passions to encourage every person to embrace a growth and learn-it-all mindset. Chancellor, in light of her exceptional contributions, I am pleased to present Ms. Andrea Della Matea for the award of an Honorary Doctor of Science.
In the name of the Council, and by my authority as Chancellor, I admit you, Andrea Della Matea, to the degree of Honorary Doctor of Engineering.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, members of the official party and academic assembly, ladies and gentlemen and graduates. Firstly, I'd like to start today by giving my heartfelt congratulations to all of the graduates. Well done, you made it to graduation. And you're graduating from an incredible university with an impeccable reputation. And I wish you all the very best as you pursue your dreams and your bold ambitions, and you think about how you're going to leave your mark and make an impact on the world around us. And to you, Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, and to Professor Harding and to Professor Rudd, I'm truly humbled to be here today to accept the award of Honorary Doctor of Engineering, but more importantly, to have been given the opportunity to make a difference and make a contribution to James Cook University. It's been an absolute honour and a privilege. Thank you.
Chancellor, I call upon Professor Simon Biggs, Vice-Chancellor and President, to present Professor Betsy Jakes for admission to the degree of Honorary Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
Chancellor, James Cook University wishes to recognise Professor Betsy Jakes for her exceptional and enduring contributions to scholarship, community engagement, culture, achievements and sustained contributions and service to the university. Professor Betsy Jakes is an internationally renowned botanist, researcher, taxonomist and author who has devoted her professional life to discovering and cataloguing tropical flora in northern Queensland. For more than 50 years, Professor Jakes has been a passionate academic member of JCU, inspiring the next generation of botanists by sharing her extensive knowledge. Educated at the University of New England, Professor Jakes completed a Bachelor of Science in 1957, followed by a Master of Science in 1959. She was awarded a Fulbright Scholarship to study in the United States and was appointed as a research scholar at the University of Chicago, earning her PhD in 1961. Professor Jakes joined the University College of Townsville, now known as James Cook University, as a lecturer in 1964. Professor Jakes has made an outstanding contribution to the university throughout her academic career and continues to do so well past her formal retirement in the year 2000. She took on leadership roles during the 1990s, including Deputy Dean, then later Dean of the Faculty of Science. In 2010, Professor Jakes returned from retirement for 1 year to undertake the role of Associate Dean of Teaching and Learning for the College of Science and Engineering. She helped reinvigorate and refresh the university's botany curriculum, making it a cohesive and successful program. She introduced an online botany subject at a time when online subjects were uncommon, and their development demanded substantial time and funding. The subject, Australian land plants, recognition, evolution and diversity, remains extremely popular with students and continues to be taught by Professor Jakes 4 times a year. As an active researcher and publisher, Professor Jakes' interests are extensive, encompassing plant systematics and the ecology of tropical flora. She has collected many plant specimens throughout her career and has described 37 species and 3 subspecies as new to science. She has published 109 international journal articles and numerous books and guides. Her early publications addressed a knowledge void and provided insight at a time when virtually no region-specific botanical books existed. Professor Jakes also created the Discover Nature at JCU webpage more than 20 years ago. It encompasses a wide range of resources to assist in identifying organisms found on our campuses and across northern Queensland. The site is an invaluable resource for a wide range of users, including students, environmental managers, and veterinarians, to name but a few. Chancellor, in its long history, JCU has only awarded 6 Doctor of Sciences. Professor Jakes will be the first woman to receive this honour. Chancellor, in light of her exceptional contributions, I have the great pleasure of presenting Professor Betsy Jakes for the award of Honorary Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
In the name of the Council, and by my authority as Chancellor, I admit you, Betsy Jakes, to the degree of Honorary Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of the Honorary Doctorate Awards. I now have great pleasure in inviting Professor Betsy Jakes to deliver the occasional address.
Good afternoon, Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor and President, members of Council, members of staff, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, graduates. Firstly, before I commence, I would like to congratulate all of you who have walked up here today and wish you all the best for the future. Right, when I returned from America with a newly minted PhD, my mother said to me, or words to the effect, "Your country has educated you. Now it is your turn to pass it on." When I hear what has been read or said in the citation that I have received this honour as to why, then I think my mother would be very pleased. Now I have a message to pass on to you, and which I will hope you will continue in your graduate life. It's one that I really first encountered when I arrived, or shortly afterwards, at the University of Chicago, at which time I also had to learn to speak American. It was here that I first became aware of how important it was to think. You may think, well, hang on, you've done your undergraduate and some graduate work, hang on, what are you talking about? But really, this is when it hit me. And today, the University of Chicago still has its policy to teach people how to think, how to learn, and how to adapt. Let me give you a couple of examples that have never gone out of my mind. Firstly, we had a discussion group, graduate students and some faculty, as the staff were known. And we were told by the chairman, you are all now to go away and draw up plans because you've just been appointed as the director of a brand new institute. You have unlimited money, how people would love it. And you are to set up 10 labs and come back and tell us why. All right, you do it and you're all innocent, you don't know. So you come back and boy, by the time you have had all the other graduate students pick on your plans, likewise you did on theirs, you have certainly learnt to think. Because they didn't agree necessarily with what you had said. The second one was the oral examination. Now there you are, standing up with all the staff in there. They're all able to ask questions. One can say something and the other one can say, oh, you mentioned that. And so it goes on. Well, they looked out the window, and it was a nice big window, and there were all the trees there, and Botany Pond was down there. See that tree out there? It's dying. Why do you think it's dying? Well, I looked the tree up and down and round about and thought, well, I don't know, but that's not the answer that I'm going to give. So I thought up a few suggestions, and then I turned to them all and said, well, that's my best answers. What is the reason? We don't know. We just want to see how you think. Well, I'm not going to say what I thought at the time, and which I, of course, could not say. Second, the next thing is I would like to add to think, observe. And anyone here who's been one of my students at some stage will know that I have that all the time, observe and think. Well, that's exactly it. And you repeat it as often as you like. Had Sir Alexander Fleming in 1928 not walked in to his lab and suddenly seen a petri dish with a big bare patch in it, we would not have had penicillin as soon as we did. He made an observation and then he thought. Now the other probably strange comment I'm going to say is learn to think like a fly. I guess none of you have heard it. I heard this a long time ago from a person who was working with Drosophila, which is a little vinegar fly that goes around your rotting fruit. And it meant put yourself in the fly's position and think how you're going to live, what do you want, etc. Now, I hadn't heard this really for a long time until a couple of months ago, and I read a paper. And there were two researchers in India working on another fly called an apple fly. And they put this fly in with all these virtual reality techniques and things, tethered it. How many flies they used tethering them, I don't know. And they said, now, is it reacting to light? Sunlight, early morning, late? How's it finding its resource? Is it odour? Is it wind? And they could not get a definite answer with all their fancy techniques. So then they said, right, only one thing, we've got to go to the field. And they went out to the field and camped there to think like a fly, and that's the phrase they put in there, to try and see where that little fly was going, what it was reacting to. They had to marry their field studies with their virtual reality techniques to try and come up with some answers. Now, you can translate learning to think like a fly into any organism or structure that you like. Or it could even be a person if you like. If you're in some psychology or something like that, you might want to do that. But not being in that area, forget it. I used to always say to students, if you're going to work in the rainforest, you better go up there and spend the night in it and have a look and see what's going on. As one colleague a long time ago said, until I drove up to Paluma, when there'd been a lot of rain and the water was pouring down over the road, did I realise just how important that water was to the rainforest. So you need to go and think like a fly. On a much broader scale, if we are going to look after, conserve our environment, and particularly as it reacts to climate change, then we have to learn to observe and think like that environment, like that ecosystem. The ecosystem is very complex, and I doubt if any one of you alone is going to be able to answer any of the questions. You're going to need a team. But at the same time, you're going to be able to have to look at all the species that are there individually and look at their relationships. So you need, again, to observe and think. Now, I'm going to take you out to the Burra Range. For those who don't know where the Burra Range is, it's time you went and had a visit. It's 276 kilometres west, out past Charters Towers on the way to Hughenden. It's a popular wildflower area. It also, incidentally, is the top of the Dividing Range. Although you'll only find you go up like that and down again, but the water knows which way it's going. It knows that all that goes that way, all that in this part goes that way, and all that falling up there goes that way. So it is the Dividing Range, the top of it. Well, now we're out there looking at some flowers, yes, of course, being a botanist. And while we're standing there, about half a dozen different insects came by. Oh, there's a rubber fly. Oh, there's such and such. Oh, there's a skink just gone under there. No scorpions around that particular area. So we thought, well, what are going on? What are they doing? Now, this is where it's complex. These species were just there, and this is plants and animals, just there, and then over there. They weren't continuous. So the first question is why? You've observed that, now think. Okay, if you're out there, the topography is going to be one. There's some beautiful gorges, but don't go walking in them because you'll probably get lost, not to mention falling down the bank sides. The soil, chiefly sandstone, and it goes right back for the geologists, right back into the Galilee Basin, and some of the very first Warang sandstones come from there, and they're on the tip of that part over there, or down Porcupine Gorge. And you then have to look at the hydrology. Where the level of the rocks underneath the top surface, because that's going to depend on how wet it can be or how long it can hold it or something. Now that all helps to determine where the plants are and where the animals are. There's some lovely lateritic pedicles out there. That's where you'll find the scorpions. Do not put your fingers down their holes. And so you've got to look at the whole thing. You've got to look at who are the pollinators for the plants, who are the seed dispersers, and that will be almost certainly animals, wind, particularly ants. Now, I don't know that anyone's done any work out there on ants. Certainly I haven't seen it. Also, what is the response to fire and to drought? These are all the things that you have to observe and think about and gather your team. So, observe and think. And I suggest that you, whatever it is you're doing, being a bridge or what, that you sit and observe and think. You may have to change your mind and your ideas quite a few times or modify them, but nevertheless, you have to do it. So, I want to leave you with the idea. Observe and think, repeat as often as necessary. Have confidence in yourself, but be prepared to change your mind, and as a result of your observations, take a few risks even. And don't let anyone gaslight you. With that, I wish you all the best in the future as you continue to observe and think and adapt. And perhaps I should say, think like a fly.
Chancellor, I now invite Ms. Chelsea Burgess to deliver the graduate address.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor and President, Dr. Betsy Jakes, members of Council, members of staff, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, fellow graduates. Before I begin today, I'd like to extend our sincere gratitude to Dr. Betsy Jakes for her inspirational words, which I'm sure will resonate with us throughout our futures. Truly, it is an admirable trait to have the confidence to trust your beliefs, but also the courage to change your mind after further thought and observation. Can we give her another round of applause, please? Throughout our hard years of study, There have been a number of people who have supported us. It is my honour today to thank the academic and support staff at JCU who have helped us along our journey. Over the course of our studies, you have shared your knowledge, your insights, your time, and your infectious passion. I'm sure I speak for most of us when I say that I could not be here today without the countless hours I spent in your offices asking for your assistance and guidance. I'd also like to thank, on behalf of my graduating cohort, the friends, family, and loved ones who have supported us during our studies. In fact, can I please ask my fellow graduates to stand and face the audience? To all of the people who have gathered to support our achievements today, both in person and online, can we please give a big round of applause? Thanks, you may be seated. Although we may refer to this event as a celebration of the graduating class, none of us could be here today without your selflessness, and none of our achievements could have been realised. Your moral, and for many of us financial support, has been invaluable. Personally, I'm amazed that I have any friends left after 4 years of my obsessive commitment to university. We often may take you for granted, but we all understand that without you, we could not be here. And for that, we thank you. But of course, I can't address you today without expressing my deepest gratitude to all of you, my fellow graduates, my peers, my friends. In the grand scheme of things, 4 years, for some of us longer, for some of us shorter, doesn't seem like a whole lot of time. That is why I find it incredible to see how far we have come as people and all of the achievements that we have accomplished. Over the past 4 years, I have pulled countless all-nighters and spent way too much money at Zarafas. I've played sports that I was bad at, taken subjects that I was bad at, and had many brutal learning experiences. However, in saying that, I've also achieved many great things, as I know that we all have. Whether it's securing a great graduate job or just making it through online learning, we all have a lot to celebrate today. However, the thing I will cherish the most about my university experience is the opportunity to meet and work with all of you. We have been told many times that we will fail in life and that we will need to overcome many setbacks. I don't doubt this. I've only been working for a few months, but I've already made an embarrassing number of mistakes. One thing I know for certain, though, is that each of us standing and sitting here today have the courage to overcome these challenges and use them to our advantage. Now, English isn't really my strong suit. I'm an engineer after all. So if you'll allow me, I'd like to paraphrase someone who is much more inspirational than I could ever pretend to be for you today. So in the words of famous author Sue Monk Kidd, go and make your big, beautiful dent. And as you do so, come down on the side of boldness. If you err, may it be for too much audacity and not too little. For you really are enough. You have countless resources and strengths inside. You have your glorious self. It is up to us now to have the courage to keep moving boldly towards our futures, much like we have done to be here today. And as we all know, today is not the end of our journey, but only the beginning. So congratulations to us all. Let us go out and make our big dent in the world. And from the bottom of my heart, I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Chancellor, I now invite our Vice-Chancellor and President, Professor Simon Biggs, to deliver the closing address.
Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my university colleagues, and of course, most importantly, our graduates. I am most certainly aware that it's been a long ceremony, and I am the one that is between you and relaxation and celebration. I promise I will keep you for only a few minutes more. First, I'd like to take the opportunity by thanking our Chancellor, Bill Twaddell, and the whole university community for welcoming me so warmly. I'm incredibly pleased to be here in North Queensland and to be surrounded by such wonderful people. I am especially proud to stand before you today as the Vice-Chancellor and President of a truly world-class university, one that has produced so many outstanding graduates over the past 50 years. Our university is one that is dedicated to creating a brighter future for our communities here in the north of Australia, in the tropics and beyond. Graduates, you have today forever etched your names into the history books of JCU. You join your fellow alumni and can proudly take your place in the world. Unfortunately, you will soon learn this is not the end of your education, and it's not the end of your learning. That is always a lifelong requirement. But I am certain that JCU will have equipped you to be able to think critically, to question theories and establish dogma. In short, to be on the road to becoming a future leader. I encourage you to follow your passions and make a difference. Be proud of where you have come from, as we will always be proud of you. When you leave here today and begin your careers, you'll eventually discover that milestones such as these will accumulate over your lifetime. They are moments when you should pause to reflect. Whether it's a graduation like today, your first big promotion, or even starting a family, take the opportunity to be proud of how far you have come. The places you've been, the experiences you've had, and the people you've met will have all impacted you in some way, for better and for worse. They have shaped you, given you perspective, and helped you reach this point. And in your act of reflection, it is especially important to remember the people who've helped you along the way. Many of them are here with you today, helping you to celebrate. Your family, your friends, your classmates, and your university lecturers deserve your thanks and gratitude. They live the highs and lows of your achievements alongside you, and they are there for support as you continue to grow your potential. But what you have achieved today is so much more than a degree. It's the foundation upon which you can build a fulfilling career and life. I can definitely assure you that when I graduated with my bachelor's degree, a small distance over 30 years ago, I absolutely did not imagine for 1 second that I would be standing on a stage such as this, addressing graduates as the Vice-Chancellor of an outstanding university. A combination of hard work and good luck has brought me to this point. My journey has taken in appointments in the United Kingdom, France, the United States, and Australia. It has definitely been a fulfilling journey for me personally. But I suppose what I want to say to you is that you too can go anywhere and achieve anything. Believe in yourselves and know that you have a fantastic launch pad for your future with a degree from this wonderful university. Over the coming months and years, you will channel all your enthusiasm, knowledge, and skill into the pursuit of your dream job. It may not happen right away. Don't worry. We all start somewhere. Give yourself time to practice your skills, to learn new ones, and to really understand what it is you want in life. I can assure you what you think you want today may very well not be what you want in 10 years' time. This is entirely normal. But approach this next phase of your life with an open mind. Say yes to opportunities, big and small, for opportunities will open doors that can take you to unexpected places. I also promise you that sometimes things will get tough and uncomfortable. But it is in that discomfort that you will learn and grow the most. After everything that you've endured through the pandemic thus far, you should know more than ever that you are capable and you can do it. You will find ways to adapt, evolve, and move forwards. That said, in your pursuit of the dream career, always remember to give yourself a break from time to time. Burnout is a real possibility. Avoid it, because it can have significant consequences for you both professionally and personally. Be sure to take time away from work to reconnect with yourself and your loved ones. Take care of your physical and mental health. An important tool that all of you have during the tough times is self-belief. There will be moments where you doubt your ability, your motives, and even the choices you've made. But self-belief is your life raft. At its core lies the truth of who you are, your strengths, and what makes you happy. If you can hold on to these truths, they will get you through the challenges that lie ahead. So graduates, when you leave this ceremony and continue your celebrations, as you so rightly deserve to do, I encourage you to think about the journey to come. And as you do, remember these three things. First, always be grateful for the people, places, and experiences in your life. They are your foundation. Second, even the strongest amongst us can have their resilience tested. Remember to give yourself time and occasionally give yourself a break. And finally, becoming the person you are meant to be will take time. Hold on and enjoy the ride. Graduates, congratulations and farewell.
Should we wait while you turn off your phone? Thank you. Chancellor, the successful staging of this ceremony is the culminative effort of many university staff. I would like to thank the University Examinations and Events Officers for the coordination of this ceremony. This graduation ceremony is now concluded. Will the Assembly please stand as the Chancellor leads the academic procession from the auditorium. Graduates, you are invited to join on the end of the procession.